My name is Gideon James. I live in Arctic Village. I'm 80 years old.
Anwar in Alaska, one of the great sites of energy in the world.
You know, what we contaminate as a human, as a people, it's not going to go nowhere.
One day, a friend of mine who's in the oil business called, "Is it true you have Anwar in the bill?" I said, "I don't know. Who cares? What is that?"
It's not going to go into space and we'll never see it again. It's going to stay here. That's what's been going on.
Not one president was successful in getting it. I said, "You got to be kidding. I love it now." And after that, we fought like hell to get Anwar. He talked me into it.
We're going to use this on Trump.
There's something really interesting about being in a room with a village elder who really is carrying the stories of generations that have gone before him.
We're sitting bull and picture of Rosaline.
You begin to realize that his pain, her pain, is the same pain as yours.
My name is Sarah James. I'm from Arctic Village, Alaska, and I'm a Arctic Gwich'in, and we've always been here. Most of my people died from starvation. Our first visitor is French people for trapping, so it killed a lot of animals. Food changed in no time.
So white supremacy, also known as settler colonialism, it's all about eliminating indigenous populations in order to make room for white European settlers to come live there. That's the history of America in a nutshell. In today's time, though, it's less about European immigrants and a lot more about corporations, oil refineries, oil industry. Indigenous people have always understood what it feels like to be targeted in this country. Black and brown people know what it means to be targeted in this country.
We fought abroad so that the white man in America could be free today to sick police dogs on us, to beat our people in the heads with police clubs, and to turn water hose on little women and children and babies simply because they want to walk down the street like decent human beings.
So in 2017, the Trump administration, through a tax bill, opened up the Arctic Refuge to be drilled in by oil refineries. I wanted to see firsthand the land that's being sold for oil extraction, and I wanted to see the negative impacts that climate change and settler colonialism is having on the Gwich'in, who depend on a food source that's up for grabs if we start drilling on this land.
And we're doing great, by the way, on energy. We are now an exporter of energy. Can you believe that? 10 million barrels, folks. We just cracked 10 million barrels.
It's now 6 a.m. in Fairbanks, Alaska, and the Liturgist podcast is headed to meet our wilderness guide so we can take a trip into the Arctic Refuge.
Acceptable drugs.
For motion sickness.
Basically, we're going on two separate planes. One's going to Arctic Village and the other's going to Sunset Pass. And then we're gonna, eventually the ones that go to Arctic Village are gonna meet up with the people in Sunset Pass, and that's where we're going to set up base camp because that's the Arctic. The Arctic Refuge is located on the northern slope of Alaska. It's home to America's largest herd of caribou. The Gwich'in have been living in close proximity to the herd for thousands of years.
There's maybe 300,000 caribou, porcupine caribou, use that same land from time immemorial. And it's traditional to us, it's traditional to them to use that land.
That was seriously one of the most beautiful flights I've ever been on in my life. Just seeing the powder of snow on the Alaskan frontier and these mountain ranges, like unlike anything I've ever seen. As our plane takes off, we are now alone in the Arctic Refuge. We just landed here in the Arctic Circle, and yeah, we're about to build camp. They already got the kitchen set up, and we're about to set up our tents. And I think we might go exploring a little bit.
That's correct.
That's correct. Tent complete.
So is all of this the oil territory that they're wanting to drill? Is this what all oil under here?
Since the tax bill passed, they've been trying to do another round of seismic on the coastal plain to get out there and use new technology.
Yeah, the scope is, I'm sure it's difficult to see on camera, but it's like everywhere you look is like endless.
Yeah, it's unfathomably huge.
So we just finished lunch, and now we're on the second part of the hike, and we've walked almost about 2 miles. One direction, we're gonna have to walk that back. But yeah, we're checking out this ridge with the stream, straggling behind the others, but let's catch up. With every step we take and everything that we're experiencing, it's beginning to hit me. Oil drilling, or any disturbance whatsoever, will fundamentally alter the delicate ecosystem of this land. I'm starting to see why the Gwich'in view this place as a sanctuary worth protecting.
It's been so fun to be up here and experience this region of the world and its rawness and its wildness. But now I'm really excited to get some context from the Gwich'in people about what both climate change and oil exploration does to their way of life. And honestly, as great as the wild has been, what really interests me the most is how their lived experiences are impacted by all these changes.
Okay, perfect, thank you. So we just talked to one of the village elders. She's a total badass. And yeah, she said she got a cabin for us, and she's gonna come back with a wagon. And yeah, we're gonna go see the Arctic village. Soon after we arrived, Sarah took us on a journey and began to tell us the history of her village.
I remember as I was growing up, ever since I can remember, I could remember that to protect our land, water, air, our way of life, that's how I grew up. Everybody grew up that way. Used to be one people, until we got colonized into village life in the border. We used to call ourselves, all of us, Net Ain. That means we're from that end to this end is our land. This is canned moose skin. My mom did that. That's my brother. I call him my brother Giddy, and you guys can go see him next. He is tribal operation. That's what I call him.
Right now, the federal government's gonna try to drill for oil in the coastal plain. The Porcupine Caribou herd calving ground is right there where they want to drill. Any kind of a disturbance would hurt that herd.
My name is Charlie Swaney. I've been living here in Arctic Village over 30 years now. Things are changing in the world and all that, but one thing that don't change, you have to eat. Right. And that's how we eat out there.
My name's hellbent. I'm from Arctic Village, and I'm an Alaskan Native American. Thank you.
When we sat down with Kelvin, you could feel the rage that he felt. He was angry, not just at America, he was angry at us.
Make sure you thank yourself when you go home. You destroyed the beautiful people, destroyed the land.
My name is Mark Green Sr. I am the principal teacher here at Arctic Village School in Arctic Village, Alaska. We still have Americans that think because of my skin color, I'm not equal to them and stuff. And you can tell that by the news and all of that that's going around now. Our Native Americans go through that same thing.
We've been fighting terrorism since 1492, and we're pretty damn good at it.
I think it doesn't matter whether you're black or white or whatever. Everybody should be concerned about the environment and the cost and the results of what's going to happen if you mess with it.
The caribou is important to everybody. That's you can't say you people. It's not us. It's about the whole world.
The more we come together, the more, we can't stop because we got this far winning. And so we believe we're going to win because we're doing the right thing and it's the right thing to do.
It's a big battle that we're up against, but we don't give up.
I want to express, to the people that we do more than our part. We serve our country. We fought for the caribou, fought for our land, fought for our survival. It's just that we need people to come and help us out. You stole our land. Come on.
Arctic Village has a rugged beauty that almost matches the incredible lived wisdom of the people that inhabit it. Of everything we've seen on this trip, by far the most captivating and moving and illuminating was seeing the difference between the 30,000 year experience of life that these native and indigenous people have been through, as opposed to the last 300, the last 30, and the last 3. An attempt to put an oil rig in sacred lands for the Gwich'in people is just the latest indignity in a long chain of denying their sovereignty and, in fact, their superior insights on how to live and move through our world in a way that allows natural things to flourish, and in doing so allow people to flourish over the long term as well. I leave here not only with a resolve to partner with these people in protecting these lands, but to try to figure out how we, as white Western people, can learn from Indigenous people to live in harmony with land, to not exploit it, and to see ourselves as part of the natural world instead of standing in mastery over it. This has been a life-changing experience. And looking at climate data makes me think, if we don't all learn something from the Gwich'in, there won't be a lot of people left to tell these stories.
On top of this, we're running out of native. I am the only, probably last one you're going to see. I speak my language, and I'm full-blooded, and I'm handsome as hell. You know? After this, there'll probably be no more.
I think the Gwich'in struggle is my struggle because it's the story of America dehumanizing you, colonizing you, making you forget your language, your culture, making you assimilate. Their people were wiped out. Millions of my people were wiped out.
It's not hate to say that we were kidnapped and brought here. It's true. It's not hate to say that we were Jim Crow, discriminated and segregated. It's true.
Traveling to the Arctic helped me see how white supremacy is taking on a new shape in a new time. It also allowed me to see firsthand the lingering legacy of settler colonialism, because looking at Kelvin's face or Sarah's or Charlie's and listening to the tenor of their voice, it's not hard to see that these folks are being stolen from. I know we'd like to think that the sins of 1492 are behind us, but today, America is committing the same sins by denying the Gwich'in sovereignty to secure food and protect their ancestral land. A land that's already under threat due to climate change and our refusal to limit our carbon footprint. We cannot allow the federal government to treat the Gwich'in the same way it's treated their ancestors. Because if we do, this time, the genocide continues on our watch.
Mr. Chairman, I rise in opposition to this amendment. As a 35th generation American, it is well known that I am deeply committed to ensuring proper consultation with Indian tribes about federal policies and laws that impact them. Just because certain Alaska Natives don't quote unquote live there doesn't mean they don't have ancestral ties to the land. And in fact, this land is imperative to their present and future existence.
We as humans so fundamentally believe that we're separate from the land, but it's all part of the same system.
The thought of claiming land, it's nothing short of just absolute violence.
Adding infrastructure and industrial activity at this moment seems to be the most short-sighted move we could make as a people. But we're also the same people that elected a climate change denier right at such a critical moment.
There was something really important about positioning ourselves physically in this remote space that, yes, is beautiful, holy, and sacred, but it's also the battleground for probably what's going to become one of the biggest fights of our generation, which will be, we need to protect the Arctic.